happening. Woo! Good stuff. Oh, how's my hair? Oh, it's a wreck. No sense in you seeing me look like a disaster. Okay, that's beautiful. Well, you've made it to another edition of A Delicate Balance. And we are here primarily to support you in your spiritual journey and for you to support me and mine. And that's pretty much it. What we've been looking at is the Bible. You may have heard of it. And the reason we're doing this is I happen to be a Christian, but I think that there's far too much division and hypocrisy, self-righteousness, judgment,
just a little,
etc., that keep people from talking together, communicating, benefiting from each other's experiences. So my task here is to express to you whatever it is that's going on in my life, and hopefully that will inspire you to do maybe something different in your life that you're not doing, and for you to communicate with me what's going on with you in your life that might benefit me. And you can do that in a couple of ways. One is you can tune in every second Monday of the month, and you can talk to me live on the air from Charter Communications at 7:30. Or you could just call me directly at any time, and I have a new number. It's 203-605-9747. 203-605-9747. And I'm serious about you calling at any time. I may not be available, but I'll definitely get back to you with whatever your concern is. And I won't charge you for it, because you may not like what I have to say. And I think if all of us kind of did that type of thing, I think it would be better than what we normally see, which is, you know,
absolutely,
fundamentalist preachers on TV, you know,
a bunch of BS,
trying to get money from you to broadcast their whatever it is that they're doing, and try to get you into some kind of guilt, laden perspective that would make you feel like you
gotta give them
had
money.
to keep giving that person money. And I even brought up one of the last times we were together about even the Apostle Paul. I thought was, you know, in the second book of Corinthians, that the second half of it, he practically spends most of that time trying to make his case that he's clearly an apostle, he's clearly giving the true gospel, and because of that should be rewarded. That might be the case, but I don't really want to criticize Paul too much, because I admire him tremendously. But I think as far as like giving to God and, you know, through giving of monetary offerings, whether it's some missions group or a local pastor or some ministry, I think that should just be between you and God. And if you choose to give, you do, and if you don't, you don't. And that shouldn't inhibit what it is that we do, which is always looking for an opportunity to share and to be a part of this global search for truth and meaning in our lives.
Yeah, baby.
So that's that. So I have no idea where we should go in the Bible here. My bookmark is in Romans. That might be a little too
Pedantic.
I mean, there's a lot of, in Romans, there's a lot of, discussion about, God's plan with the Jewish community. And I'd like to find something that's more
relevant,
applicable to just about anyone. I think we'll just look at Romans 12, seeing as that's where I'm looking at right now.
Good chapter.
It's a verse we hear all the time.
Present your bodies as a living
First couple of
sacrifice.
verses there. So let's go to places any, and you'll get a feel for this if you haven't tuned into it. I've been doing this for almost 10 years now.
How's that working out for you?
So for those of you who are used to me, I don't want to bore you with introductory nonsense. And those of you who haven't been, well, just change the channel if you like. All right. Paul says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, speaking to the church in Rome,
to present your bodies
by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. I'm reading from the New King James. How do you present your body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God?
Exactly. Break it down, baby.
Good question. What I've found, I've been a Christian for, I don't know, I always have to think about this because I never keep this stuff straight. Let's see, 1977, so 32 years. And it's been my experience that the best way of doing this is to, as much as you're able, to put aside those patterns of behavior and thought that you've come to find to be in the way of not only your appreciation for God and His presence in your life and what you perceive Him to be doing at the moment on your behalf, as well as putting as much effort as you can into being available to His Spirit so that more often than not you're experiencing your actions as a direct result of His life in you as opposed to your egoic imagination. All right, that's a mouthful. Let's break that down a little bit. So you put aside things that get in the way. So what does that mean? You're putting aside things that, certain activities in excess are going to get in the way and disturb the equilibrium you're trying to establish with God, so that instead of saying, don't smoke, don't drink, don't dance, don't go to movies, don't curse, don't this, don't that, instead of thinking in those terms, you think, what I found is that you think more in terms of how much time you're spending on certain things. And then you start recognizing yourself going to certain activities or things to occupy yourself, and you start to recognize objectively, sort of looking at yourself from the outside, as being slave to these activities, and that you need these activities in certain amounts whenever you choose to engage in them, to kind of help give you a sense of pleasure, self-fulfillment, enjoying life. But if it's at the expense of maintaining this communication between yourself and God, then that needs to be, reduced to a very minimal part of your daily life. And in some cases means eradicating it from your daily life. But the thing with that that's somewhat troubling, and still after 32 years, I'm still figuring this out. Is that a robin? I'm playing the CD of supposed spring, sounds of spring. And that sounds like a robin who's on a mission. Probably looking for a mate. Here I am. Where are you? Here I am. Okay, let's get going. Here I am. Okay, it's springtime. Okay, here I am. Where are you? I'm right over here. So you want to discern in time and be patient with yourself and forgiving and loving toward yourself as you learn these things, to discern the difference between your own effort that comes out of your egoic will and what power you can access continually from God to make changes in your life.